Never ever leave the house after 50 without the 5 products I'm about to show you. Not if you want your grandchildren asking why grandma suddenly looks so young. I've done makeup for 30 years, on brides, on television, under lights that forgive nothing. And I can tell you exactly why your makeup looks worse now than it did 10 years ago. It's not your skin, it's 5 wrong products. Today, you get the 5 right ones. Number 1 is a foundation the industry will never tell you about. And it may be the one thing standing between you and taking 15 years off your face. So stay with me till the end. Before we count down, one thing you need to understand. After 50, makeup stops being decoration and starts being strategy. Young skin forgives everything. You can slap on any drugstore foundation at 25 and walk out glowing. Mature skin keeps receipts. Every wrong product shows up on your face by noon, sitting in your lines, clinging to every dry patch. So these 5 are in a very specific order, from the product that preps your canvas all the way up to the one that changed how I do foundation on every single client over 50. Let's start. Number 5, the Bobbi Brown Primer. I'm going to be blunt with you because that's the only way I know how to help. If your makeup looks worse at 3 in the afternoon than it did at 8 in the morning, your problem started before you even opened your foundation. Mature skin is thirsty. It drinks moisture all day long. And when it can't find any, it pulls it straight out of your makeup. That's why everything goes patchy and cakey by lunch. Your skin is literally eating your foundation. The fix is this primer from Bobbi Brown, and I have gone through more jars of it backstage than I can count. It's loaded with hyaluronic acid, which pulls water into the skin and plumps it up from underneath. Fine lines look softer within minutes because they're not sitting on dehydrated skin anymore. And it has vitamin C, which brightens that dull, tired cast so many of us get after 50. You smooth it over clean skin, give it a minute to sink in, and your face goes from dry canvas to fresh canvas. I had a bride's mother last spring, 64 years old, who swore foundation made her look older, so she'd given up on it completely. I prepped her skin with this primer, waited 2 minutes, and did her base. She kept touching her own cheek during the reception. Makeup glides over hydrated skin instead of grabbing onto every rough spot. That's what a real primer does. It doesn't fill your pores with silicone. It feeds your skin so the makeup has something healthy to hold on to. But a perfect canvas means nothing if you ruin the eyes. Which brings us to the mistake I see on almost every woman over 50. Number 4, the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. Walk through any grocery store and look at the under eyes of every woman my age. You'll see the same thing. Concealer that looked fine at home, now cracked and settled into every fine line, sitting there like dried paste. And here's the sad part. Most of those women put it there trying to look more awake. Traditional concealers are too dry and too thick for mature under eyes. The skin there is the thinnest on your entire face. It moves every time you smile, squint, or laugh. A stiff, matte concealer can't move with it, so it creases, cakes, and makes you look 10 years more tired. The High Glam Concealer from Natasha Denona is the one I reach for on set, and I am picky about under eyes the way some people are picky about wine. The formula is creamy and genuinely hydrating, so it melts into the skin instead of sitting on top of it. It brightens the whole under eye area without that chalky, gray, flashback cheaper concealers give you in photos, and it does not cling to fine lines. You can smile all day and it stays smooth. One tip from 30 years behind the brush. Use less than you think you need. One thin layer, pressed in with your ring finger, warmed up by your own skin. Piling on concealer to hide dark circles is like painting over a crack in the wall. More paint just makes the crack more obvious. Thin, creamy, blended. That's the whole secret. Now your skin is glowing and your under eyes look rested. But there's a 5-second step most women skip entirely, and it's costing them years. Number 3, the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. Nobody warns you that lashes age too. They get shorter, sparser, and lighter, and it happens so gradually you don't notice. You just look in the mirror one day and something about your eyes reads tired and you can't put your finger on why. It's the lashes. When they thin out, your eyes lose their frame and the whole face looks sleepy. Now I have used mascaras that cost more than a dinner for 4. Fancy tubes, gorgeous packaging, endless promises. And I keep coming back to a drugstore classic, the telescopic from L'Oreal. That skinny little wand grabs every single lash, even the tiny ones at the inner corner that fat, fluffy brushes miss completely. It lengthens without clumping, and length is exactly what mature eyes need. Long, separated, defined lashes lift and open the whole eye area. Suddenly, you look awake, alert, brighter, and nobody can tell it took you 30 seconds at the bathroom mirror. And can we be honest for a second? There's something satisfying about a $10 tube outperforming the $50 ones. 30 years in this industry taught me that price and performance are barely on speaking terms. By the way, if any of this is landing for you, hit subscribe. I share what actually works on faces over 50 every single week. No fluff, no 20-step routines, just what I'd tell you if you were sitting in my chair. Now, let's talk about the part of your face everybody looks at when you speak. Number 2. The Laura Geller Jelly Balm. Lips after 50 are a heartbreak nobody prepares you for. They get drier, they lose volume, and those tiny vertical lines around the mouth start showing up. And then classic lipstick, the kind we all wore for decades, makes everything worse. It feathers into those little lines, bleeds past your lip line, and by mid-morning, you've got color creeping toward your nose. I've watched elegant, put-together women get aged 15 years by one bad lipstick. The Jelly Balm from Laura Geller solves every piece of that. It's deeply hydrating, more like a treatment with color than a lipstick. It smooths the lip surface as you wear it, so your lips look fuller and softer instead of dry and pleated. The color is a sheer, juicy wash. Buildable if you want more, and because the formula stays comfortable and moist on the lip, it does not bleed into the lines around your mouth. You swipe it on without a mirror, and it just works. There's a Korean beauty philosophy I grew up with, and it shaped everything about how I do makeup. Skin first, always. Makeup should look like it comes from within, like health you were born with. That's exactly what this balm does for the mouth, not a painted lip, a healthy lip. And that same philosophy is why number 1 exists at all. Because everything we've done so far, the primer, the concealer, the lashes, the lips, it all gets undone in one move if your foundation is wrong. And for most women over 50, the foundation is very, very wrong. Number 1, the Luxe Color Changing Foundation. Let me tell you what traditional foundation does to mature skin, because I've watched it happen under studio lights thousands of times. It sits on top of the skin like a mask. It settles into every fine line by the second hour, and the worst crime of all, it oxidizes. You match the shade perfectly at the counter, and 3 hours later, it has turned orange on your face because the formula reacts with the oils in your skin. Every woman watching this has owned that foundation, the one that looked right in the bottle and wrong by lunch. The Luxe foundation works on completely different technology, and when I first tested it, I genuinely didn't believe it until I saw it on skin. It's color changing. It goes on and adapts to your exact skin tone, your undertone, your actual coloring, so there is no shade guessing and no orange oxidizing later in the day. It reads your skin instead of fighting it. And it was developed specifically for mature skin, which almost nothing on the market truly is. Instead of sinking into fine lines, it blurs them. Instead of caking over texture, it smooths it. The finish is what my clients always ask for and can never find. Your skin, but better. Not a heavy mask, not flat matte, not greasy. Just skin that looks 15 years fresher than it did in the mirror that morning. I put it on a longtime client last winter, a woman of 61 who has tried every luxury foundation ever made. She looked at herself, went quiet, and said, "Where has this been my whole life?" That's the reaction, every time. And clearly I'm not the only one who noticed, because it's currently the number 1 best-selling foundation on Amazon. Women found it, told their sisters and their friends, and it took off. You'll find it in the description below, or just scan the QR code on your screen right now. Sometimes there's a coupon running too, and honestly, at that price with a discount, there is no reason to keep wearing a foundation that's aging you. So there's your list. The Bobbi Brown Primer to feed your skin, the Natasha Denona Concealer for bright, smooth under eyes, the Telescopic Mascara to open up your eyes, the Jelly Balm for soft, youthful lips, and the Luxe Foundation holding the whole face together, adapting to your skin like it was mixed just for you. Start with number 1 if you only change one thing, because the foundation is doing the heavy lifting. It's waiting in the description below, or scan the QR code on the screen before it disappears. And the next time your grandchildren squint at you and ask what's different about grandma, you can just smile and keep your secrets. Subscribe if you want more of what 30 years in this industry actually taught me, because next week I'm covering the blush mistake that makes women over 50 look exhausted, and almost everyone is making it. I'll see you there.